Well, yeah, we should all stand together and pray for better times in this country. You see, before we had Obama in the office, we actually had a good time together. Everything was working fine. I mean, racism was not an issue. I mean, racism has always been around, and I would just say live with it. There are some people who is just plain stupid, if you get my point, not realizing that it doesn't matter if he got another skin color, he's still a human being. So there is no difference, and we got smart people from across the board, meaning all races, and in all races we also have these ding-dongs, and in all races we also have idiots, literally. And what I'm seeing right now is idiocracy. You know, what happened in Baton Rouge with the black guy who got shot by the police officer, I believe that that should be by the judicial system looked into, and to see if there is reason to prosecute the police officer who fired the fatal shot at this, unfortunately, of black skin color, if you like. Or am I politically incorrect when I say the word black? That's what the term is. Or Afro-American. What are we going to call them? It doesn't matter. They're just Americans. It doesn't matter what race they are. They're born and raised here in this country, and therefore they are Americans. That's how I see it. But it should be looked at, and justice should be served to those who is left behind from his unfortunate death. As I have seen on the video from the attempted arrest on the person, I did not see any reason for the police officer to draw his gun on a person who already is face down. He do have what is called a taser, and he could have used that to pacify him in order to get handcuffs on him. The shots went off, and now he's dead, and now we got 8 police officers, 5 in Dallas and now 3 in Baton Rouge. It's very unfortunate that people are reacting emotionally. They should have a more public outcry of justice instead of turning their anger towards police officers that do not have anything to do with what happened in Baton Rouge. And there is no excuse for what happened to these police officers. I mean, it cannot be justified. It's murder, period. Murder, murder, murder. And we are by commandments not to commit murder, period. So that's, I mean, we need to get together. I mean, we need to stand together and stop this hatred that the establishment is kind of dragging down our throat. I mean, we did not have these problems before Obama. I mean, why are we having these problems now? Is that because we got a black president? He's not black. He's half white, half black. I'm white. And then he's half black person. So what has that to do with race? He's a mix, or a mud, if you like. So what is it the people in the black community don't understand? That he's only half of what you are, and then he's half of what I am. I mean, are you even thinking when you're running on this rampage, or following suit with the political agenda? I don't think you're thinking. Honestly not. Because he's not black. And I wouldn't mind having a 100% black president. I don't mind. I don't care what skin color our president has, as long as he's doing a good job for this country, for all of us. Because that's why he got elected, or presidents of today are selected. So they already decided that at the Bilderberg group at their secret meetings who's going to be the next president of United States or divided States of America, because it is the divided States of America. And I told Trump on my Twitter account that he should stop bashing the illegal immigrants. He should rather want to win their side or their support in this quest of becoming the next president of United States. You know, he's very blunt in his way of speaking. So am I, and I speak my mind at all times. I mean, we got a bigger issue. Take an example as Europe. What an issue they have with a certain group of people who's come up there under the guise of being refugees, which in reality is turning out to be rape-fugees, because they're raping the women up there left and right, and they think they got the right to do so because they're infidels, so they could just be treated like cattle or whatever. That is an issue that we should look at here in this country. We got so many internal problems. We don't need to invite more problems into this country. We need to solve our problems before we try to solve other problems. There is a saying that you cannot help others if you cannot help yourself, and that holds true. We don't need them at all, and you might call me a bigot. But look at the statistics in Europe. In Europe, in Belgium, they even have now schools for these refugees where they're being instructed, reschooled, taught that they should not rape women. I mean, how low can you go? Just put them in jail, no schooling. Put them in jail and castrate the bastards. That's my opinion. You don't rape a woman at any circumstances. You don't commit violence against a woman. You don't raise your hand against a woman. But in that group, this, I would say, narcissistic, satanic suicide cult, it is apparently okay to rape women, to hit women, and even murder them for various reasons, because the man is apparently the king. Yeah, he is the king in his own home, told by our Lord. But he is also to respect the woman that he is married to under all circumstances. So that, I think, is a problem we need to look at. We don't need them here. Personally, I don't want them here. Period. None of them. And I don't want any establishment of government to lure in that this is peaceful, this is merciful, this is loving and tolerance. When you see what's going on in the Middle East, when you see what's going on in Europe, what you see what's going on in North Africa, what you see which is going on in East Asia, where these groups of people are appearing and growing in numbers. There we should build a wall, not a wall against Mexico, because in reality, you know, we're doing fine with them. We are. I mean, I don't see a problem out on the streets, and I'm driving everywhere, and I don't see that dispute. But I see a dispute between black and white people all of a sudden appearing, and it's growing. And I don't agree to it. I think people need to take their finger out their butt and take their head out their butt and come to their senses and realize that we are all brothers and sisters, all of us, in this country. What's outside our country we should refrain to think too much about, because we got so many problems here in the first place that we need to solve, and we need to get rid of this communistic, progressive, Obamanista government that we have. That's something we need to look at. Not at each other, because it was going just fine before this shithead got in office. Period. And then there's this group of all Black Lives Matters. Well, she's a Muslim, and she left the Black Panthers because the Black Panthers, according to her, was not radical enough, not violent and militant enough. We don't need violence. We don't need militant people running around in this country and spreading fear in the communities. We don't need a revolution against our own people. We don't even need a revolution against our own government. We just need to walk there and resign them all. It is that simple, really. And if you're bothered by a background noise, that's microwaves. I can't help it. We are being bombarded by microwaves in our environment at, 24/7. That's just how it is. We're being subdued to mind control. Many people are being affected by it. It has no effect on me. It's like water on a goose. I know what they're doing, and it seems like I'm running around with a tinfoil shield, because I am not affected by it. I still think rationally. I don't act outwards in rage or something like that. But I think in a judicial system there should be a law that if there is a person of a certain stature like this biatch in Black Lives Matters, the leader of them, agitating for revolution in this country, agitating for violence and murder in this country, including Beyonce, they should be prosecuted and put to jail for inciting violence and murder. Because they are a threat to the society. They should be removed from the society. And I personally believe and think, and I stand firm on that, any of you listening to my voice out there who is sympathizing with the Black Lives Matters militant agenda, you should go to the local asylum and commit yourself for insanity. Or you should go to the local county jail and have yourself locked up because you are not needed out in the streets, out in our society. You are absolutely useless. You need to deal with the problems we have in a rational fashion. That's where we are. We need to talk about the problems, and we need to find out where is the source of the problems and how do we solve it. I have one solution: remove the government that we have, all of them, because they're all in it together. They need to be removed peacefully by a demonstration. 2 million men army walking there and demand them to get out. That's how we can deal with it. But who is supporting this violence, this hatred against our fellow American citizens, you should go and lock yourself up, because you are absolutely what the elite think about us. You are a useless eater. Period. You serve no purpose in this world other than being a dumbass. Excuse my language. You just watched a video here, me driving from Paris, Texas towards Hazlet in Texas, and you noticed all the clouds, how they were just dissolving. Right? Yeah. You see the manipulation of our environment, but you indeed see the manipulation of our thought patterns in this country, being conducted by the cell phone towers that we are seeing shooting up everywhere, even in places where they are not needed in that vast numbers as we see in the cities. But that's what they're doing. They're manipulating your thoughts. They're putting thoughts in your mind that you would not normally have in your mind. And there's not really anything we can do about it, because they're there. And they are all our enemies. God bless you. Well, we should all stand together and pray for better times in this country. You see, before we had Obama in the office, we actually had a good time together. Everything was working fine. I mean, racism was not an issue. I mean, racism has always been around. What race they are, they're born and raised here in this country, and therefore they are Americans. That's how I see it. But it should be looked at, and justice should be served to those who is left behind from his unfortunate death. As I have seen on the video from the attempted arrest on the person, I did not look into and to see if there is reason to prosecute the police officer who fired the fatal shot at this, unfortunately, of black skin color, if you like. Or am I politically incorrect when I say the word black? That's what the term is. Or Afro-American. What are we going to call them? It doesn't matter. They're just Americans. It doesn't matter. And I would just say live with it. There are some people who is just plain stupid, if you get my point. Not realizing that it doesn't matter if he got another skin color. He's still a human being. So there is no difference, and we got smart people from across the board, meaning all races, and in all races we also have these ding-dongs, and in all races we also have idiots, literally. And what I'm seeing right now is idiocracy. You know, what happened in Baton Rouge with the black guy who got shot by the police officer, I believe that should be by the judicial system